Hello. A few years ago, I had the opportunity to be a keynote speaker for a really high-profile speaker in the country. Now, in my private conversations with this person, I expressed my concern, real dire concern, for another high-profile speaker who had been rumored to be going through a divorce process. Divorce was imminent. My concern was, being such a high-profile person, the effect this was going to have on not just his family, but the organization he was leading and the nation and all of that. And so I said to this other high-profile speaker that I was going to speak for, going to keynote for, I said, can't somebody talk to him? And you know what his response was? I've never forgotten. He said, Who? Yao. Who? My friends, that is a recipe for disaster. When we haven't set in place accountable relationships and structures to bring us to book in the conduct of our work, in the conduct of our lives. Last week I spoke about a sure way to destroy your leadership. Well, today I want to talk about another sure way to destroy your leadership. Lack of accountability. So organizationally, the thing to do is to have governance, have a strong governance board, and make sure you are accountable to that governance board. Only last week I had a conversation with my accountant. So I lead a Canadian charity. I've been president of this charity for about 8 years now. And the accountant, called me and said that there was a fund that I was setting up, a very innovative fund I was setting up, which has never been done in the almost 40-year history of the organization. But the accountant felt this needed board approval. I didn't think so. Well, I said, to give a benefit of the doubt, let's do that. So I sent an email, spoke to the board, and we had this done electronically. But imagine I was not accountable to anyone. I've even heard of stories where there are pastors who send the collection on Sunday after church to their homes. And only God knows whether there's a difference and how much the difference is between the amount that is sent to their homes and the amount that ends up in the bank, if any at all. Organizationally, we must set in place, even when we are founders of organizations, set relationships and structures, a governance board in place to hold us accountable. But personally as well, my best friend, who was my best man, and happens to be my brother-in-law as well. His name is Frank. We've been friends, tight friends for about 30 years now. He is my accountability partner personally. And up to now, even when I'm in Canada, he's in Ghana, sometimes we are both traveling. Even up to now, we have what we call FFF, First Friday at 5 p.m. So the first Friday at 5 p.m. Ghana time, Greenwich Mean Time, we usually will call and have an hour or two of accountability. We even just did that. And sometimes, if for any reason we need to postpone it, we'll make sure it doesn't take too long after that Friday. That has kept me and him on the straight and narrow and saved us a whole lot of sorrow and disgrace and the ripple effect on others. You remember that speaker I was talking about who nobody could hold accountable? Well, the divorce did happen. The family, his organization, even the nation has still not recovered from that. When I meet with Frank, we ask ourselves hard questions. And the other day, FFF fell at a time when I was taking a flight. I was in Sao Paulo, about to fly through Chile back to Canada. And so we had the meeting while I was at the airport. I cannot forget this because I remember clearly how shocked I was at the accusation that he was bringing me, an accusation he had heard. So a musician friend of his, because Frank is a musician, had told him that I was going after a friend of his in London, a married woman friend of his. And Frank's response made me humbled me, because he laughed when he said this. I was concerned. I was about to defend myself. Go like, what? That he laughed. He laughed so loudly, and he said, "No, don't worry. I told the guy that if it were true, you, Yao, would have already told me. I would know, because you're accountable to me." Wow, that made me not only so confident of our relationship and my accountability, but just assured me of the necessity, absolute necessity, of everyone having accountable relationships, personally and organizationally. There's nobody I know who plans to fail. But if you do not set up proper accountability, personally and organizationally, you have planned to fail. It's just a matter of time. Invariably, it will happen. So, my friends, put in accountable relationships and accountable structures so that you can be brought to book, and you can be helped on the straight and narrow, so that your leadership and influence will last long, even after you die. Accountability is a loving word. Have that paradigm shift. Accountability is a loving word. It will protect you and yours from many sorrows. Take care and be accountable.